We talked about how a lot of the polls thus far have gotten it wrong. A lot of folks, I think, surprised this morning about just how close things have come.
Yeah, that's right, Andrew, and good morning. I mean, not only did we not see a red wave or even a red ripple, this really looks much more like a red whisper, if that. Democrats are posed to potentially have the best midterm of any party in power since 2002. Now, again, from a market's perspective, and as you all have been talking about over the last few minutes, I mean, does this really change things? Probably not. Again, assuming Republicans keep the House, it could, however, mean that fights over the debt ceiling are more volatile. If Kevin McCarthy does become Speaker, that actually might be in question as well. But presumably, he would have the votes if Republicans won the House. But it would be a very narrow majority, and so things that that could cause some market volatility could be even more volatile with this sort of smaller majority.
Well, that's what I was going to ask. Is this more volatility or less volatility, given that I think, the market, if you will, was hoping for divided government?
Yeah, for sure. I think outside of the debt ceiling, you could actually see if the economy were to go into recession, there might be actually a little bit of a higher chance now that there would be some additional fiscal support if Democrats keep on retain the Senate. And not only would they retain the Senate, of course, Andrew, they look likely to increase that majority again if things sort of fall their way, and that's an open question at this point. So again, I don't think the practical implications are all that different. Maybe a little bit more volatility around the debt ceiling, maybe a little bit less if the economy goes into recession. But again, the policy implications not so different this morning.
Are you a believer that this takes Donald Trump off the table? I got a couple of emails from CEOs overnight who suggested that if that's the case, that's a sigh of relief for corporate America.
Yeah, well, look, he did not have a good night last night, and just in terms of it looks, again, with the sort of the caveat that all the ballots have not been counted, but it does not look, obviously, that Dr. Oz won for Pennsylvania. Blake Masters looks like in trouble in Arizona, and even J.D. Vance, who won in Ohio, who was one of Trump's picked candidates. That was a Trump plus 8 state. So that was a pretty red state as it was. So some of his candidates that he had handpicked, that he had endorsed, not doing very well. But who had a really good night last night, Andrew, is, of course, Governor DeSantis, winning Florida unequivocally, winning, seats down ballot, in an incredibly strong way as well. So he had a very good night. President Trump, not such a great night. But I also think that the market and folks have learned not to underestimate President Trump either.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.